I mean, I know the way I feel about this is I'm kind of of two minds. I mean, I like the idea, say, of having term limits.
Yes.
Trying to get a lot of the big money out of the process as much as possible, having term limits. But then on the other side of the equation, I think, well, you're kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face. I mean, people that have been there, have been on the scene for a while. I mean, you know, they call it the swamp or whatever. But people that know what the process is, know how to do that job. If they're good, honest people, and if they're doing the job well, you don't want to lose them.
Well, you bring up a really interesting issue because obviously term limits were first the rage back in the 90s when Newt Gingrich put it in there and talked about it. They all talked about they were going to do term limits until, of course, they came to the term limit, and then suddenly they didn't follow it. But I've always been opposed to term limits until the last 2 or 3 years. And given Citizens United, and given the fact that you're talking about the ability of these politicians to just raise ungodly amounts of money, I think term limits is something we have to study now. You asked me 2 years ago, I'd have said, oh gosh, no. But we have got to take drastic measures. And that may be one of them we have to do. I think it's certainly something worth studying now.
And why were you in favor of, not in favor of term limits before? Did you feel like the experience thing was?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I felt like I worked on the Hill for a couple of years, and I could see where experience plays a role. I'm not sure it plays as big a role now as it used to, but I could see the sort of point of it. I think originally I was against term limits just because you heard the conservatives screaming, we've got to get these guys out of office, we've got to get these guys out of office. And then once they got the guys out of office, then suddenly no more term limits. They weren't interested in term limits anymore. So the hypocrisy of it really bothered me more than anything.